In 1863, Confederate soldiers take gold bullion as a way for the army to get paid. Suddenly, a highwayman corners them and shoots them with guns from the future and automatic pistols from the past, leaving them alone and dead. In 1994, 131 years later, in Washington, D.C., the U.S. government sets up the Time Enforcement Commission to stop people from misusing the newly invented technology for time travel. They found out that the same gold medal was used to buy weapons recently. The TEC's job is to find time ripples between the different timelines and stop them from happening before they reach the present. Since people can't travel to the future, they always go back in time to change the past or steal money. Senator Aaron McComb offers to fund and run the commission. Max Walker, who works as a police officer, is offered a job as a TEC spy. At a local shopping mall, where he meets his wife Melissa, he stops a bag snatcher. He sees two strange-looking punks following them, even though he has never seen them before. Walker and Melissa go home to their big, fancy house, where they later make love. Later that day, Max's home is broken into by the same people he saw at the mall. Melissa is killed in a blast, which also destroys Max's house. In 2004, Walker is now a TEC agent with a lot of experience. He is sent back in time to October 1929, during the Wall Street crash, to catch his old partner Atwood, who took advantage of the crash to make money. After Walker beats Atwood's guards, he questions Atwood, who says he works for Senator McComb, who needs money for his presidential campaign. Atwood tries to kill himself by jumping out of a window because he is scared that McComb will send hitmen back in time to kill his ancestors and end his life. Walker catches him as he falls and brings him back to 2004, but Atwood refuses to speak against McComb, so the TEC agency sends him back to 1929, right where he left off, where he dies. Senator McComb goes to the TEC agency to check on how things are going and to praise Walker on his recent mission's success. Walker gives McComb the impression that he knows all about his shady deals in Washington and how he gets money for his campaign. McComb leaves the place and tells his aide to kill Walker. The following morning, two assassins enter into Walker's little apartment and try to kill him, but Walker, a skilled martial arts expert, kills both of them after a bloody and drawn-out struggle. Walker is teamed up with Agent Sarah Fielding and sent back to 1994 to look into a possible ripple. There, they find a young Senator McComb fighting with his business partner Jack Parker about their company's new computer chip. Walker is still looking into McComb to prove that he is corrupt. Parker offers to buy McComb's share of the company, but McComb's older self shows up from 2004 to tell him that the chip will make a lot of money. When Fielding tells Walker that she works for McComb, Walker gets mad and they start to fight. McComb kills Parker, hurts Fielding, tries to kill Walker, but ends up getting away and going back to 2004. Walker finds that things are worse when he goes back to 2004. The computer company is now owned by McComb, and there is no mention of Parker. With his money and popularity, he is almost certain to become president. Due to budget cuts, the TEC is being shut down. Fielding is not mentioned either. Walker realizes that he needs to fix things, so he and Commander Machuzak steal the original prototype time machine that McComb had been using for their illegal trips. Commander Machuzak gives his life to help Walker escape when McComb's men try to stop him. When Walker goes back in time to 1994, he finds Fielding in the hospital. She agrees to testify against McComb, and they would leave the hospital together. Walker is looking for Fielding's DNA in a blood sample in the lab when he finds a sample of Melissa's blood, which shows that she is pregnant. Walker finds out later that night that she died, so he chooses to stop it. When he goes back to Fielding's room, he finds that she has been killed, and everyone thinks he did it. He goes to the mall, which is where he and Melissa met. Max Walker finds her in the end, and he is able to convince her that he is from the future. He also sees the two bad guys who attacked him and figures out that they were sent back by McComb to kill him before he joined the tech. That night, McComb's thugs again break into Walker's house, but this time the older Walker is there to greet them. The older Walker helps fight off the bad guys, even though his younger self doesn't know it. They and Melissa win as a team, but the younger Walker is hurt. Then, in 2004, McComb kidnaps Melissa. When the older Walker finds out that Melissa is being held by McComb, the crooked senator sets a time bomb. He then shoots Melissa right before the young McComb shows up. The young McComb had been tricked by Walker's fake message into coming to the house. Walker grabs the younger McComb and pushes him into the older one. This makes them into a writhing, yelling mass that disappears because, according to the time theory, two people can't exist at the same time if they touch. Walker drags a hurt Melissa out of the house right before the bomb goes off and, just like before, the house is destroyed. He puts Melissa down next to his younger self while she is still unconscious, and then he leaves the scene before the cops and fire department get there. Walker goes back in time to 2004, and the timeline is now right. The tech is still around, Fielding and Machizak are still alive, and Macomb disappeared 10 years ago. Walker is happy to find that he still lives in the same house, even though it was redone. Melissa is still living, and their son, who is 9 years old, is waiting for him. When Walker comes home for dinner, Melissa has something to tell him, which sounds like she's pregnant again. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to see more videos like this. Click like and turn on notifications to help out the channel.